Hey everyone, and welcome to the channel. So today we get to take a look at the 2024 Lexus LC500 Coupe. Huge shout out to Hendrick Lexus Northlake for providing the sports car for me today. Definitely take a look at their website. That link is down in the description. So this 500 is finished off in ultra white. MSRP is just over $104,000. Now this is powered by the 5-liter naturally aspirated V8. It's paired to a 10-speed automatic transmission, pumping out 471 horsepower, 398 pound-feet of torque. That power is sent to the rear wheels, propelling this 4,300-pound sports car from 0 to 60 in 4.4 seconds. It has a top speed of 168 miles an hour. It also has a fuel capacity of 21.7 gallons. You'll expect to see around 16 miles per gallon in the city, 24 out on the highway. This also has a wheelbase of 113 inches. Its overall length is 187.4. It has a width of 75.6, a height of 53, and its ground clearance measures in at 5.2 inches. As we move on to the exterior styling now for the LC500, you'll notice that this still retains the hourglass design for the grille. A lot of newer Lexus models are going away from that distinction, but for this 500, there's a chrome surround for that entire grille, along with brushed aluminum accents for the entire grille. This has a sensor, which is also the Lexus badge, forward-facing camera, and there's plenty of cutouts to provide additional cooling to that engine. There's also parking sensors up front, and then a really cool design for the lighting. You'll notice the headlights and the high beams are in a very small housing, and then the DRL actually goes off of the bottom and then all the way towards the middle of that grille. So it still retains that iconic crisp point for the DRL, and then there's also turn signals that line vertically with the air inlets on both sides. And then pretty subtle lines coming down the hood. They do go off of the points of the hourglass design all the way to the base of the windshield. It's a fairly long hood, but with the overall design of this vehicle, I think it gives it a great look. Now this model also has a set of 21-inch wheels with that multi-spoke design. There's the black Lexus brake calipers just behind that. And then for these side mirrors, they have a 3-tone design. There's gloss black, chrome, as well as body colored. Then there's the turn signal and a camera. This also has the gloss black roof, which is nice to see. And then you'll notice all the window trim is blacked out. There's also another functional trim accent just behind the doors. So you'll notice that in the lower side skirt there. And then with the height that I mentioned earlier, it definitely has a low roof line, giving it a very cool look. Almost mimics the LFA in certain aspects. So it's like a baby LFA. Now in back, there's the Lexus badge, backup camera, LC500. Also the LED taillights, which have a great look to them, along with some more of the gray trim accents that you noticed up front. There's all the parking sensors, and then in the lower section, we have that quad tip dual exhaust with some more chrome. Reverse lights are right in the middle, along with some gloss black. Now, as we work our way to the cargo space, you can use the button on the key fob or push on this hidden button over on that right side to gain access. Now, when we open up the trunk, being the coupe, you have actually a good bit of space. Underneath the floor, there's a little bit of storage. There's access to your battery, so you can get access to that, of course. And then there's also several tie-down hooks, so you can secure any items. Now, it's not the tallest trunk, but it does provide you with a decent amount of space to make this a daily driver. Back seats do not fold down, so you're limited to that amount of cargo space for the trunk. Now, as we work our way to the interior, we have the flush door handles, which is cool. So just push that indentation up front. That gives you access to open it up. And now we can take a look at this door panel that has a really cool design to it. So there's leather, there's Alcantara, there's all of the red accents too. We have the memory seating adjustments, your side mirror adjustments. They are power folding. There's all of the window adjustments too, and then a little bit of storage down below. And then we have the power adjusting front seats that are finished off primarily in red with more of the black accents. And now let's take a look at the back seats. Now you can use that button or that lever there to put the backrest forwards, and then from there you do have to push on the control down below to move that seat forwards. Now at 5'10", you're not really buying this for a full 4-seater. As you can tell with that seat all the way back, there's no legroom. But you have a nice design for these. This also has the Mark Levinson audio. You have a little bit of black there in the middle, and then this is me at 5'10". So if I had to ride back in here, it might be for 5 minutes or so. They're there. You can use them for additional storage if needed. You can also get a look at the full Alcantara headliner. from this angle too. So they're there if you need them, but not a practical 4-seater, obviously. And then from there, you do have to hold on this button. You'll hear it beep till you get that seat into its original position. Now you do have to step over the door sill there, but it's a low vehicle, so it definitely makes it easy to enter and exit. Now we have the solid and perforated leather steering wheel with some more of those gray trim accents for the controls on both sides. And we have a massive set of steering wheel mounted paddle shifters. But let's fire this up now and take a listen to that NA V8. And coming back to the gauge cluster now, you'll notice on the left side, there's 2 temperatures. There's also one on the right side along with your fuel level, and then the tach is right in the middle along with some more information within there that you can scroll through. Now going back to these controls for the steering wheel, you have distance pacing along with your lane keeping assist, cruise control settings, mode, and tuning. On this left side, there's volume, Bluetooth, and voice commands, and then you have the arrows to further go through this information. So if I start scrolling down, you can monitor all of this, even your gear position, just depending on what you'd like to see. There's your G-force meter, even a blank page. And then you can also move that entire tach to the right. So now we can go over some of the information that I just showed. However, it is going to show you some additional vitals that you can scroll through, including your compass. You can look at your music. You have your cruise control, any messages. And then you also have some standard safety features that you can go in and monitor. So you can turn all of these on and off just depending on how you would like them to react. And then when you're done, you can put that tach back front and center. Now this also has a head-up display. Might be a little bit hard to see, but right now it's showing miles per hour, tach, there's the compass, and that is it. You have adjustments for that over on this left side. So you can push on that to turn it on and off. You have a trunk release, fuel cap release. There's some dimmer switches for the gauges. One air vent is tucked away over on that left side. And then there's also a stalk on both sides of the gauge cluster. So on this left side, this is how you can go into snow mode by twisting that down. And then by pushing on it, you have traction control. For the stalk on the right side, twisting it down will go into comfort. You twist it up for Sport S. Once more for Sport S Plus, and then push on the end of that stalk to go back into normal. So you'll notice the gauge cluster changed slightly for that tach there, which is nice. And then as we move on to the giant infotainment system, it's very nicely integrated into the dash. So that dash actually has about the same height to it, giving this a really nice look. Now you'll notice we have the navigation when you have that ready to go. There's also your music, you have your phone. You do have some vehicle information that you can get into for your climate, as well as your heated and ventilated seats and your heated steering wheel. You have some other trip information, and then you have all this general information just depending on how you would like to set it up. So it's pretty simple, but it gives you what you need to drive this on a daily basis. Now there's only one air vent in the middle. Your passenger gets 2 over there, which is nice. And then we have all of your climates for the physical controls laid out very nicely. So we have fan speed along with your temperature. There's also auto, you have your defrosters too. It's laid out very nicely, so it's very easy to use those brushed aluminum controls. You'll notice there's a little bit of storage underneath where you have one cup holder that you can utilize. And then we also have a shortcut to that 360 camera system. So push on view once, and this is the diagram that will be shown. This isn't new from Lexus. This is in a lot of Lexus models, and then you push on that, you will be able to shut it off. Now behind that, there's tuning along with power and volume, seek and track, laid out very nicely there. And then you do have a shortcut to those controls that I mentioned earlier, so that's nice to see. Let's put this into reverse now. So you'll push it to the left and up, it'll go back into that position there. But now we have the backup camera. You have a few different guidelines that you can adjust and angles there. And then we can put it into drive. And in order to view the forward-facing camera, have it in drive, push on view, and now you can have that pop up. You can also turn on the automatic setting, so when you come to a slower speed, that will automatically pop up. Now, once you're in drive, push it straight back for the manual setting, so you can shift using these paddle shifters, and then park is going to be by pushing on that control right there. Auto hold is just behind that. You'll notice all the red leather too, giving it a great look. If we push on this button right here, this is how you can actually slide open the armrest. And then you can also open it towards your passenger there, of course, where you have a little bit of storage along with some auxiliaries. So it's nice that you can hide those away, just depending on the comfort and the access that you need. You also have this area where you can rest your palm and use these controls. On your passenger side, you actually have 2 grab handles. So if you're doing some spirited driving, they have somewhere to hang on to. And then we have the control for the glove box. So that will open up, giving you an additional space. And then we have garage door buttons on the rear view mirror. We have dome lights up top. This model also has a sunroof. So we have the manual adjustment for the sunshade. However, the roof is actually fixed. So we do have the full, or the moonroof there, that you can open and close as needed. And as far as visibility goes, it's actually pretty easy to see. You have large windows there with some smaller pillars. So even over this left side, you can gain access to that window right there, see that car passing, so it's not all that bad. As we set up now behind the wheel for the LC500, it has been a few years since I've been able to drive this car. This is something that is a little bit more on that rare factor. I don't see them all that often, but getting to check one out again and now getting behind the wheel, I really like this vehicle. This is something that is unique, like I mentioned. I don't see them a whole lot, but it gives you that luxury-focused, almost supercar vibe with the styling that this Lexus has, but it also gives us that very popular, naturally aspirated V8 engine. So let's put it into Sport Plus, and these paddles are massive. They have a good feel, finished in that brushed aluminum. Mild acceleration. This is a quick shifting vehicle. Let's take a listen to it again here. Wow. Those shifts are almost non-existent. They are that smooth and quick going through those gears. This sounds so good. Now there's no active exhaust or anything, so I really like how Lexus has kind of bumped up that exhaust note on some of their other models, including some of their F Sport models. They really don't have that exhaust to truly hear the V8s that a lot of them have. That sounds so good. It drives and handles very nicely. It's super quiet, aside from that exhaust note, which if you're buying this car, I would assume you want to hear it. But everything is laid out well. I like the tech that it has available, and I think we just have to talk. Let the car do the talking. But it's so smooth. Like, I really don't have any complaints with it for the few miles that I'm putting on it today. It's super easy to see. For a 4-seater vehicle, you know, it's not stretched on the inside here, so it's got some good visibility all around. But I could see this being a very good daily driving sports car because you have those Lexus refinements, and if you just put it into the normal setting now, I mean, you can just drive it like normal. You can put it into the normal setting. And if we do put it into normal, let's see if there's a difference with how it shifts and how it reacts. So if we just kind of tone it down a little bit, seems about the same. Maybe a little bit less throttle input, but I guess mainly you're just getting the changes in the gauge cluster there. And from second gear, here we go. Definitely quick. That was a very mild acceleration. So this can redline to about 9,000, it looks like, on the tach there. So you can really open this up and hear that exhaust wide open there. But this is what it's like to be behind the wheel for the LC500. Not too special for the interior, just with the layout. It's borrowed obviously from other Lexus models, so they didn't do anything too special. The paddle shifters are unique. I haven't seen that in any other Lexus model before. But from the outside, obviously you can tell this is something special with its exterior design. So it really is unique, has a great look to it, and with that look, it also has a great drive to it as well. So if you're looking for a sports car, you want something that is going to be reliable with that NA V8, that is something that, I mean, these cars might appreciate over time, just simply because of the engine. Since a lot of brands are going away from naturally aspirated, they're going towards turbos or hybrids. I'm not sure if this is the last year for the NA in this Lexus. Wow, that sounds so good. So this might be it for the NA for the LC500, but it's definitely something that's sought after and is going to be reliable. So you know that you're getting a very fun, luxury-focused sports car that has the Toyota Lexus reliability behind it. So you don't have to think twice about, is this going to last? You can own this for a very long time and have some fun with it. I would say this is also geared towards more of a grand touring type of sports car. This is something you can rack the miles up on, go on long trips. I don't see any issues with just driving it every day. It's definitely an everyday type of sports car, which is awesome to see. And then it's also going to handle so well. There's zero body roll around a turn like that going at normal speeds here. Definitely something that they're hard to find. So if you get one, you're gonna be in that exclusive lineup of LC500 owners. This is fun to drive. Definitely a cool option to go with. And that's going to wrap it up for the 2024 Lexus LC500 Coupe. Once again, huge shout out to Hendrick Lexus Northlake for providing this for me today. Definitely take a look at their website. That link is down in the description. And if you enjoyed today's video, give it a huge thumbs up and consider smashing that subscribe button so you don't miss out on our daily uploads. I will see you all in the next video.